NFF news. I mean, there has been a whole lot of discussion as regards the current NFF president in the person of Gasau, that wants to be re-elected for another time as the NFF president. Election is coming up in September. That's early next month, and that next month will determine if Gasau continues or is voted out. However, somebody that is vying for NFF election, let's take a look at his performance so far. And I have the list here. Now, under Gasau, Nigeria failed to qualify for the Under-17 World Cup and AFCON. Under Gasau, Nigeria failed to qualify for the Under-23 CAF competition and the Olympics. Under him, Nigeria failed to qualify for the 2024 Men Olympics. Under him, the futsal World Cup, Nigeria failed to qualify. Under him, the beach soccer, Nigeria failed to qualify for the African competition. Under him, the Under-17 failed to qualify for the AFCON and the World Cup in 2025. Under him, the Under-17 failed to qualify again for the World Cup in 2027 and the AFCON. Under him, the Super Eagles failed to qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Under him, the Super Falcons, they have failed to qualify for the World Cup. I mean, Collins, if you are an employer and the job description says you have to deliver on what I have read out, you as an employer, would you want to continue to keep that person in employment, or you want to fire the person and don't want to see the person again? Because the same guy was in Morocco and he's parading around as the NFL president and he's still actively campaigning. I mean, what do you make of this?
Well, I'm disgusted by all this. Like, I'm really disgusted because this is is I don't know how to explain it. It's really sad. It's really sad because now I'm never you are doing election. You want to do election. So the new person they will bring. That's the thing. Anybody who is the candidate, the next his opponent. You understand? That will still coming. Will be the same thing with him because the board entirely are corrupt. No, see, because the structure is corrupt. It's not the matter of changing the NFF president. The delegates, every delegate, the NFF board should be run to the ground. That election, let somebody set that bill of fire. Let that election not hold. Let that election not hold. Because it's obviously going to win this again. You understand? I'm seeing people that have been supporting me. He has been getting support that let me continue. You understand? It's not like Amaju picnic was even better.
Well,
I mean,
considerably better.
We failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup under picnic. The AFCON tournament under picnic. Last two AFCON tournament under picnic. We did not go reach semi-finals. We did not reach. So it's not all this NFF president. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of them. This last night loss against South Africa was the final straw. Was the final straw. He doesn't deserve it. These girls have always been playing their hearts out. No matter what is going on with the country, the girl, Super Falcons will come out and show up. Make us proud. We used to use them to boast. We use their 10 WAFCON titles to boast till today. But look at them. If they are performing like this, we are finished. If they are performing like this now, see, we don't have anything to boast. It's just girls we used to boast. They are WAFCON titles because they have 10. You understand?
True.
The news where they said where the stars need to fit their jersey. It went viral now. All of that world saw it that Nigeria are very good. Nigeria have the most this one. If other teams start to catch up, because this WAFCON tournament is not 4 years, after it's every year or every 2 years that we will play. So it's very easy for a team to accumulate 10. If they catch up, we're finished. We don't ever have that bragging right. You see, so this is This is the NFF problem. This is the NFF fault because they are obviously disappointed with the system.
No,
Why?
Collins, let me ask you. So, this is how the NFF election works. The 36 state FAs, they all go to Abuja and they elect somebody. They elect somebody that has shown interest to become the NFF president. You said something earlier. You said we need to bring down the structure. So, if we are talking about the structure, don't you think we should start looking at the various state FAs? I, I, I think a couple of years ago, I think about 1 or 2 years ago, I did a street pop, interview to find out if people actually know their state FA chairman. Only 2 people out of over 50 people I interviewed knows the state FA chairman. Let me even break it down further. The local government area, the person responsible for football, I asked people in that same locality that I live at that particular point in time, they don't know. Don't you think it's high time we begin to, don't you think it's high time we begin to build things from grassroots for us to be able to have same results when the average people on the street do not even know the state FA channel, and that's the reason why these people continue to, field in incompetent people. What do you think of that? Because you talked about bringing down the structure and rebuilding it. What do you think that starts from?
Well, like you said, start from knowing state your state FE. You understand? Because if you look at this for Gusau, I think like 17 state FE or is it 17 state FE are backing him up. If he's having the backing of 17 state FE, what's the meaning? No, I beg, make person let me answer. If he's having the backing of 17 state FE, what is remaining? Nothing is remaining. Nothing is remaining. You understand? So you start from knowing I know my state FE. You understand? My 2 states actually, I know them. You understand? So and sadly enough, the back Gusau. If I indicate back Gusau, Lagos State FA back Gusau, and they are still backing Gusau. So if you look at all these things, they are telling you he's not going to be re-elected. He's going to be re-elected because Lagos State FA and Ekiti State FA, they are publicly supported him. They publicly they've been supporting him. They've been supporting him. So he's going to come again. So if the foundation is like this, hey, a problem deal. I'm telling you, problem there. There's problem. There's
what,
problem.
what do you think is the way forward? Because we cannot continue to begin to have the same people. Well, see, the thing is this, and this is my own personal opinion. I don't know if you agree with this. I think the Guzau-led administration, they've shown so far that they are clueless. They spend taxpayers' money to go to Morocco to go and watch the girl play the playoff. And they said one of the things they said was that they were going there to encourage the girls to be able to do better. That they were going there to encourage the girls to be able to do better, to be able to get us the World Cup ticket. Now we did not get the World Cup ticket. They spend taxpayers' money. They can literally log on Zoom or whatever it is to see the girls and encourage them. They spend taxpayers' money, go to Morocco, and the girls are not at the World Cup. So, I mean, Collins, what do you think the way forward is?
Honestly, I don't know the way forward because I feel like
What? Are you
you
serious?
just started. See, I keep saying there should be a reform. There should be a structural reform. There should be a structural overhaul. There should be a structural. Everybody should just be brought down from top to bottom. But you don't know who hold the keys. How are you sure that if we bring down everybody, the people who are putting in, the people that is coming in, are not going to be as corrupt as the people that are going out? Who is the perfect candidate? You ask yourself the question: who is the perfect candidate? The other day we were discussing NFF. Okay, I wasn't part of the show, but I watched it, and we were discussing NFF presidency. Should the person have sports background? Should the person just have leadership qualities or something like that? You understand? That's a very valid. That's a very valid topic. You bring in a former coach. Do you bring in a former player, or do you just bring in somebody that has management skills? Do you just bring in somebody that has good administrative skills?
hmm,
Who is the perfect candidate?
hmm,
You understand? You bring in the perfect candidate and you find out that when they get to the office, they start eating money. They
hmm.
go from someone that you know that is not corrupt. The moment you put them in power, they become corrupt. The average Nigerian. So all these things are just things that don't factor into what you should do next. Why that's why I said I don't know. Because I can give you um numerous solutions. Do this one, do that one, do this, but everything will just be talks. Everything will just be talks, word of the mouth.
Hmm,
That is not really going to, it's not going to move, it's not going to do anything.
hmm.
You know, I was really sad yesterday. Like I didn't even know. I think I just went to watch a movie. Because why would you be losing to South Africa in a match that is as important as going to play for the World Cup, play in the World Cup competition? Nigeria, since when? When I'm as how we don't play in the World Cup since I was alive, since I've been alive. When has that happened?
Hmm.
But now look at it happening. It's enough to make somebody speechless. It's enough to make somebody say that election I want to let it not hold. Let them not hold that election. Yes. What are they holding the election for? Who did they want to bring in?
It's statutory. They have to
Is
hold
it
the
Jesus?
election now. They have to hold the election. It's statutory. They have to hold the election.
If it's not Jesus Christ they are bringing, let them not hold anything because everybody is the same thing. Everybody is the same thing. Everybody is the same thing. So far, so good. There is no perfect candidate. That's the truth.
Oh, oh, oh,
No
oh,
candidate is perfect. At least good enough.
okay.
Good enough.
Let me bring in Temiloluwa. You said you don't have an idea of what will happen. Let me bring Temiloluwa. I mean, Collins has said he doesn't have an idea of the way forward. Gusau is seeking re-election. The list of failure is more than A4 paper. 17 state FA. I only saw about 3. Collins just told me now on this while we are discussing that it's about 17. I only knew about. I didn't know the list has grown to 17 before this particular show. 17 state FA, those that are tasked with electing the next NFF president, have come out to publicly support the current NFF president. They've come out to say they want to re-elect him. The Lagos State FA chairman is there. Ifeanyi Dike is also there, saying he's supporting the plethora of failures that Gusau has represented as NFF president. What do you think is the way forward, Temiloluwa? Because Colin said he doesn't know. I hope you are able to give us, a way forward.
When there is a problem, you see, the moment we know that there is a problem, we've gotten the solution.
Hmm,
You understand? When you realize that, there is a problem, you have 30% solved the problem. Now let's put it like this: in a country of over 200 million plus citizens, are
hmm,
you telling me there's nobody competent for that position? See, let's be realistic with ourselves. This
hmm,
is an organization that has stood the stand of time. This is an organization that, okay, let me digress a bit. Permit me. So the thing
yeah,
there now is our police, Nigeria police force, they say, yeah, they are not working, they are not this, they are not that, they are not effective, they are not that. You understand? But they can track down anybody anywhere. This same
true,
police force that we are saying is not effective, is not this, that we look at them, we commonize them, they can track you from Lagos State to Jalingo. You
true,
understand? That is how
true.
that is just the limited Nigeria police force. I will say limited. That's the limited Nigeria police force. Now let's bring it down
Hmm,
to this federation, a football federation. Let me be honest with you. If not for a level of corruption, permit me to say that. If not for a level of corruption, we know competent people when we see them.
hmm,
Let's not deceive ourselves.
hmm,
We know,
hmm,
see, people in power, yes, sir, people in this position, they know competent people when they see them. But the
hmm,
problem now is, will that competent people give them the leverage to do some things? You get, because when
hmm,
the competent person comes in, there are
hmm,
some things that they've been doing before that they will not do again.
hmm.
You understand? And inevitably to affect some set of people. So what do? They put in somebody that listens to the music. You understand? That's because I do not even understand why Nigeria Supporters Club are not even being taken outside of the countries for tournaments. Rather, it is Football Federation officials that are going there. Going there to do what? Before Nigeria Supporters Club, you see them with their tummy, with everything, with their paintings, with everything, with all the colorations. You see them there. You understand? You Baba, you see those sounds, everything they do take it there. But what has happened now? The officials are going there. They are no longer cheering. Is it the official? How do they want to cheer? You understand? So if a competent person is coming on board and is saying, you know what, we are going back to taking our supporters, we are not taking club officials, what do you think will happen?
Hmm.
Knowing fully well that this person that is coming on board, this is what he wants to do you think they will allow them? So I'm sensing a bit of corruption here. Mr. Collins said, where do we go from here? We do not know. We know. Those
Hmm.
up, they know. They know those that are competent. When you see competence, you know competence. You understand? When you see somebody that takes no nonsense, you know the person. But the thing there now is, are we ready to bend?
Hmm.
You understand? Is the federation ready to bend? Are they ready to take these hits? You understand?
Hmm.
Because if he comes in now, there are a lot of people that will lose their job. You can see what Samuel Eto'o did at Cameroon.
Yeah.
Getting there, a lot of people lost their job. A
Hmm.
lot of people lost their job. A lot. I think to hundreds lost their job. Are we ready to take that direction? It
Hmm.
works for Eto'o because Eto'o is a national hero. Let me put it that way. You understand? So he has that leverage to do those things and go on with it. So now imagine if we are electing a new leader and he goes down that route. There will be a lot of noise. There will be a lot of rumors. You understand? There will be a lot of grumbling underneath. And for that not to happen, they wouldn't even put the competent person there. You understand? So for the fact that that's just the reality, that's where we are at the moment as a country. Yes, so that's where we are at the moment as a country. It's not like we don't know those that are competent, but the thing is, there are some people that are eating off the state of how things are. They are eating off from it. You understand? So they will not allow the competence coming. So in a country of 200 million plus citizens, I can tell you we have more than 500 competent people that will lead effectively. But the problem is, we didn't allow them. You understand? Same thing too with the men's national team. Prior to now, you understand, we have a quota that they'll say, okay, these are the people that are supposed to be on the list. These are people that are supposed, you understand? So if you are bringing in a coach and the coach is not dancing to that tune, do you think he will get there? He wouldn't
Hmm.
now. They wouldn't employ somebody that will, unless if now that the status quo has changed a bit, and then Eric Chell is has the backing of the whole of 200 million people. You understand, to do whatever he wants to do. You get, so they wouldn't want to make that mistake of putting somebody that will now have the backing of 200 million people and they wouldn't be able to control. You understand?
Hmm.
So that's just it. It's just down to corruption, because make it make sense that we are the reigning champions, or we are the oga of the tournament, and then we went out at quarter final. We are not going to the World Cup, and there's no panic. There's no
Hmm.
panic. Look at what happened with Italy. Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup. Everybody now come out.
They
You
resign.
understand?
They
Everybody
resign
left.
willingly. They resign willingly. Nobody forced them. They
You
resign
understand?
willingly.
Everybody left.
I mean,
Everybody left. But in Nigeria, yeah, everybody is okay. No panic. Like, there's no panic. We don't qualify for World Cups and we see it as norms. There's no panic. And we've gotten to that stage. It's very, very terrible that you are not going to the World Cup, the best competition in the world, and there's no panic. Oh, it is well, but there is a solution. They know the solution. They know the candidates that are competent, but will they allow the candidates with free hands go about it? You understand? That's just it. Will they allow the candidates go about their job? Will they allow him infuse those rules and regulations that will propel the federation forward? Will they allow him? Because those rules and regulations will inevitably hinder some people from getting whatever they are
hmm.
getting some benefits, you understand, and the like. So are we ready to go in that direction? That's the question now. So if they want to re-elect this our oga that is here now, tells you a lot about some of the old procedures, and I think that is that on that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that between now and September, something happens that Gasau does not return. However, I'm scratching my head looking at the various federation chairman, because I mean, it's likely that even if Gasau is not returning, and I don't think Amadou Pinnick will want to return since Infantino might probably remain as the president of FIFA. I don't think Pinnick wants to come back. Probably, I'm scratching my head looking at the 36 Federation chairman. Which of them is better than Gusau? I don't think I have any. But in any